Hey, this is Ernest Delane from Mix Live Productions giving you a full review of the Mixars Quattro 4-channel professional mixer that's Serato ready. I haven't done one for this mixer. I've been using it for almost a year. As you can see, I have it in my road cases. And I'm going to give you a review based on how I use it and how I think most DJs will use this and what they want to know about it. So let's check it out. The Mixars Quattro is a 4-channel professional DVS mixer. I've been using it just a little bit over a year now, and I just want to show you some of the things that I find useful. And let's just start from top to bottom. From the top, you have mic control for mic 1 with a low-high EQ for mic. You have switches for the different channels, USB 1, line phono, USB 2. The USB 1, USB 2 is the switch between two DJs. So for example, one DJ is on one laptop, one is on another. DJ 1, he's on USB 1, DJ 2 is on USB 2. That's how you switch over controls individually for each channel, for each DJ. Also, you have your master volume here. You have your booth, separate booth volume here. The USB inputs here for the DJs. Deck controls between deck 2 and 3 here, deck 3 and deck 4 for DVS control. We're on deck 1, deck 3, deck 1, deck 3, deck 2, deck 4, deck 2, deck 4. I actually left a track on deck 4. Next, we have trims for each channel, high, medium, and low, and also a filter, which also is assignable either between noise, filter, echo, or crush. Separate cues for each channel, as well as the master. Each side has 8 touchpads, 16 total, and with those, you can choose a number of features with this. You have cue, you have sampler, or if you hit the shift key, you have cue with transport, or you have 8 usable assignable pads per side. We also have a split cue, crossfader curves. I'll show you a little bit about that a little bit later on. The cue mix here, this is pretty much the headphones section here. Cue to master the mix in the headphones, headphone volume. Crossfader reverse, which I never use, and I don't know any DJs that use it, but they always put it there, so hey, somebody uses it. Your line fader, or what they say, the up fader curve, whether you want it really sharp, gradual, or totally slowly gradual, you have a selection here. Of course, you have faders, and they feel pretty good per channel. You also have an up fader for your sampler volume. If you use samples, you can set your volume there. Standard things as far as crossfader sign, left, right, or through for each channel, and a pretty good crossfader. One note, I'm not sure if they are shipping with it now, but I upgraded mine last year to the NO fader, which is a really great fader. Some people don't like the sound of the fader slapping, but you know what? When you're in a party, no one hears that. In addition to that, you also have built-in effects, but you have a selection from filter, flanger, delay, echo, reverb, trans, pitch, left roll, right roll, noise, bit crush, gate, time delay, break, and send and return is if you have an external effect, such as if you an old school DJ and you have maybe a outside isolation fader, then you can use that as well with this board. And the effects are assignable either between channel 1, 2, 3, 4, mic, A and B, and master. If you aren't using Serato and you're standalone, say with CDJs or turntables playing vinyl, then you also have a tap feature which you can tap in your beat per minute. By the way, the deck does try to pull the deck the beat per minute in if you're standalone. If it's a little off, you always can tap and get it in beat, and then press the on button to activate that effect. But I'll tell you, when you're hooked up to Serato, the beat per minute feeds in directly from Serato, so you needn't worry about the tap feature. Also, one other feature I forgot to tell you, library search does happen also with the dials up here. You also can set and release your loop here as well, or set a loop roll. Let's go ahead and load the track. Now I'm going to go ahead to the right turntable rather, and I'm going to put the same one on the left turntable. So we'll get this going. All right. And as I said, if you have cue points set up, you can hit your cue points. Also, you can set your or trigger your loops. 4-beat loop, 2-beat, whatever's available in Serato. If you hold down the shift key with the loop button, you get your roll feature going. So that's a nice feature. Now, something that I do like is the transport feature. And let me show you the transport feature. Go down the shift key and the Q key. What happens is that you now get 4 of your hot cues. Typically, that's about all I have on most tracks is 1, 2, maybe 3. But you have 4 hot cues available, and then you have some transport keys available, which will allow you to pitch bend, cue, play if you're in internal mode. And for the sake of just to show you an example here, let's switch this deck to internal mode. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the turntable, still running. Okay. My cue points work, but also I can play and pause. I can set cue points. A cue. But another feature I want to show you, if you hold down the shift key and hit the plus or minus here. We're at 103 now. If I want to speed this up, I can speed it up. I want to slow the track down, I can slow the track down. And again, this is when you're in internal mode, okay? But something that's very helpful here, for example, let's get the other turntable going on here. And as you can see, the turntables are going. They're not exactly running a little off, right? With the bend, I can bend when I'm in transport to get them running exactly. This is a feature that also works as well. Let's take it off a little bit. And let's put our transport on this turntable. Transport is on this turntable, running off DVS. I can still bend. To line up my mix. I say that's an excellent feature. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this on the screen on 4 channels, because as I said, there's a 4-channel DVS controller. I can have another deck or song, whatever, going here, say in deck 4. And say, for example, you're playing a wedding, they had a special song. You in here right now doing your thing, what have you. And they say, hey, just be aware, you know, the bride and groom is coming out, they have a special song. Oh, they're here. Okay, well, guess what? You already have that song set up to go. You can pretty much go this way. And play it right from, oops, I hit the wrong one. Let's go to, there we go. Now I got it highlighted. And you can go ahead and hit that song and play it. I think that's excellent right there. So you don't truly need 4 decks here, but you do have that 4th deck that's at your disposal. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this turntable, this deck back on relative mode. Even, you know, pretty much I can play off one side. Let's get this song going on. Let's get this going on deck 2 here. Set a hot cue for it. And let it go in a second. Here we go. It's still a little bit off. Don't worry, I can pitch bend it. And let's show you a couple about some things about the effects here. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the echo here. So for example, like I said, it's lined up, it's pulling the beats per minute, or the Quattro is pulling the beats per minute from Serato. So we're on deck 2 here. And we're gonna go ahead and do the trigger and echo for 1 beat. Let's do a half beat on that. And the effect is post fader, line fader, as well as crossfader. Now another feature that I like pretty much with any mixer now, because it is a MIDI controller, you do have the MIDI feature in Serato where you can go in through the MIDI feature and map whatever button that you have on your deck to whatever button here that you have on your player. What I decided to do was map my sync buttons to the Serato Echo, because I use the Serato Echo a lot and I don't use sync. So if I want to trigger my Serato Echo, that's a personal preference of mine. Of course, is also post line fader. Let's cut off this let's cut off deck number 4. And we're gonna go let's bring this track over and play off of deck 2 and go back to 2 deck mode here. So we're just gonna have a lot of fun with this mixer. Let's talk a little bit about the crossfader as well. The crossfader can be set to gradual. The curve can also be set a little less gradual. Or we can set it very sharp for scratching. We also have a similar feature with the up fader. So I have it for very gradual right now. A little less gradual. Or very sharp. That's at full volume already. And that is the Mixars Quattro pretty much in a nutshell. Is a mixer that I like. Price point, when you compare it to the other mixers out there, it's almost half the price of what you're looking at for a comparable, pretty comparable mixer from Pioneer or from Ring. Of course, those have a few more bells and whistles on it, but if you're looking for a solid DVS mixer for the price, I don't think that you can beat it. Well, that was my review on the Quattro mixer by Mixars. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Does it compare close to some of the features of some of the more pricey mixers on the market right now? Yeah, I would say that it's very close. It fits my needs. Don't know if it fits yours, but that's why I wanted to give you this review. If you like what you see, please click and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.